Today we're working in Sandusky County, Ohio. We're going to show you how to properly set a monument box. We found our surface ties. You are going to set your 4 corner ties off this measurement of the pin.
.262.5. .239.5.
We're going to take a measurement on the depth of the mag nail. Okay, now that we reference the mag nail, we're going to pull it and metal detect to see if there's an iron rod or anything into the ground that we're going to reference next. Another rod in there. We're going to do a little jackhammering here around this, see if we can expose that existing rod in there. Looks like we found a railroad spike. We're going to pull ties and reference this point. Clean it up, see if there's any drill marks or anything in it. We're going to get the depth, make sure everything's documented on this point.
Just split it.
Alright, so using the steel tape here and a plumb bob, we are going to find the center point on this railroad spike and get our reference numbers.
So it's 259.
Okay, we're holding this on a foot just to be accurate here from the edge of the tape. So that's why we're subtracting a foot. Okay, we're here on the north end. We're going to pull ties here, make sure that we're tight, get another measurement.
242 to the railroad spike, and the mag nail to this west tie was 262.5, and we got to the railroad spike at 259.
Okay, so now we've got our reference marks. We're going to go ahead and remove this, metal detect again, see if there's any more monument pins in there, and we are looking for the monument cornerstone that is buried in here. Around in the 19 or 18, what, 80, Dean? Yeah, around in the 1880s. So we're going to remove this. That could just be chunks of that. Chunks of that rust, possibly. Alright, so we ain't really getting much of a strong signal down there. Might be some rust deposits off of that railroad spike. So we're going to go ahead and open this hole up, jackhammer this out, and start looking for the stone. Alright, so we believe this is the stone. We're just going to score around on it, see if we can find a mark. It says in the notes there should be an X on this. We're going to broom it, chaining pin it, make sure we can find a spot. 4x8x12 limestone, it says in the notes here.
I don't know.
Okay, so we're going to do a little archaeology on this stone. We're going to clean it up. We're going to take some points off of this, do our cross ties off of this rock. Then we are going to go ahead and dig it out, remove it, measure it, and we're going to dig a hole to replace it because we're going to put it in lower. Alright, so we found the stone here. It says an X, but we found a divot. We're going to pull some reference ties across the road here, make sure that we have the correct mark. Okay, we got a couple different marks here, so we're going to just take the closest one to our measurements off of the railroad tie and see which one we get tighter to. So we found this divot point right there, dead center of the stone. That's the one we're going to use. It was closest to the railroad spike that we found at the surface.
Turn it around so he got a bit.
23 inches deep on the top of the stone. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and pull our 4-nail cross ties and get a plumb bob measure on each side. Set a hub here in the grass. Make sure we're tight. That way when we do lower this stone, we can put it right back with the plumb bob off of our 4-nail cross ties. There. Okay, we're good. We're tight. Snap that. Alright, we got our cross-reference ties in. Now we're going to go ahead and remove this stone.
Yeah, you wiggled away on it pretty good.
She is.
Alright,
stone's removed. He's going to take measurements and make sure that. We're going to auger down here to get our correct depth, so that way our stone top is going to be at the top of our cylinder. Okay, so now we got our hole dug, we got our 18 inches, we cut a piece of 6-inch tile. We're going to pour concrete down to the bottom after we put in the stone, top with stone, and yeah, fill this up with concrete and set the rod. And this tile here will hold our concrete and provide a lip to keep it from moving. Right in the center, we're going to drop this stone. Corey, go ahead, yep. Nice little dead nuts. Now we'll check this with cross ties. Alright, so now we plumb bob down. We got the center of the point right on our cross ties here. We're tight. We're going to stone it around this rock, keep it steady.
Actually, there's a bunch in the yard.
Lowered the stone to what, 44 and a half. Okay, so we're lowering this for frost line purposes, and we're going to cover this up with stone and then fill this up with concrete, this whole unit here. Okay, so we measured and made sure our tile was in the center of this, and we stoned around it for drainage. We're going to fill up with concrete now. Now we got our concrete finisher in here. He couldn't finish high school, but he can finish concrete. Okay, so now we got the concrete screeded here. We're gonna set this rod. We just done plumb bobbed it. Shit got real interesting. We got a freaking bee's nest right over here and we're getting swarmed. Wow, here they come. Okay, we plumb bobbed the rod. Got an inch and a half below the pavement. Gotta let this crete set up. We can set our box on top of this concrete pad. So it's 95 degrees out. I got this wool protection over these bees. Corey's wearing full rain gear to protect himself, and we're getting ready to set this monument box on top of this concrete pad. Dean's a man's man. He's already had to take off running. I couldn't get it on video, but hopefully we'll see him take off running again. Okay, so we're just gonna find this center point, put a little scribe in there. So we got our true.
right there. I moved.
Now we're ready to center punch and drill that tomorrow. Alright, so now we're gonna fill this up with stone all the way up to these weep holes here. So that way we got drainage and this doesn't fill up with water and heave. Okay, so we filled it up past the weep holes here on this box. We're gonna bring in concrete and fill up and leave 2 inches below the edge of pavement. Now we like to take a little piece of felt, run a felt between your stone and our concrete. Mixing some crete. Okay, concrete's in. Ready for asphalt. We'll co-patch it for the night, maybe.
Put the lid on it, right?
We'll put the lid on.
Motion.
And there she is, the adjustable box.